Chronicles of Vacanus, Forerunners campaign. Chapter 9, Festival of the Scorpion. Finishing a morning's rest, the party proceeded to explore the various shops the desert town of Zagahta had to offer. Encountering goat milk vendors, Aarakcra shopkeepers, and adventure gear suppliers, the party made their way to the home of the Giles. There, they made friends with the blacksmith James Giles, as well as greeting Gorm's young friend. After receiving many gifts of appreciation from the Giles family, including a Lemon Zest Cherry pie, the party returned to the Crimson Force Tavern to make plans for moving forward. While enjoying their tasty pastry, Winter investigated the upcoming scorpion hunt held by the Golden Reliant. While speaking to Dubron, she learned that most hunting parties carry a name that they give to the guild. Learning this, Winter returned to her party, where the name Light's Arsenal was chosen as the party's name, provided that their secret name would be Lemonade. We begin our story as the party heads out of the tavern and makes their way to the upper part of town and to the Festival of the Scorpion. So, you all begin making your way outside of the tavern and up to the upper part of town. As you may remember, most of the upper town has been kind of busy as of late. As you move back and forth, through the streets, you've heard noises and things coming from upper town. And as you travel closer and closer, you begin to see the signs of what appear to be a rather lively festival in progress. You see colored tents, different from others you've seen throughout the town and in the market district. You see, you pass by as you see a sort of a cat-like man is offering wares of various crystals and shapes, promising you good fortune and luck if you purchase them. You pass by several individuals who are selling pastry goods and desert treats, and some treats from out of town. They all smell wonderful and delicious. Some of them are meat, some are treats of with a sweet scent. Some still have that lemon zest, but you're also smelling different kinds of fruits that some are foreign to you. One or two, those of you who are from Dubron, are a bit familiar. You smell strawberries, and looking, you can see what appear to be fresh strawberries in a basket. You pass by what appears to be some sort of gypsy tent, where a blind woman in a hood is promising to tell people's fortunes for a couple silver. You move past these various sites. You do come across a familiar tent, a tent of sort of blackish color with golden trim around it, and you see before you the leaders of the Netheran caravan, Winter's aunt and uncle, who are selling some of their more exotic wares here at the festival. And as you start walking past, you hear Winter quickly say, "Hey guys, just give me a sec." And she runs off and she speaks to her aunt and uncle for a minute. And while you guys are waiting for her, you observe further down the line what appear to be some sort of games that seem to be going on. You see shouts as people have their faces dipped into something as they sit in a row of tables. and you hear someone shouting down a timer, a countdown. It allows people cheer and tell. You hear, Ari, you in particular, you can hear from further down, you see a stage and a man holding some sort of scroll, and he seems to be in the thralls of telling some grand story and trying to get the crowd to cheer at him, and he seems to be kind of not doing so hot. He gets one or few cheers, but most people seem to be yawning. You look away just as one boy throws a tomato at the person. And as you look at some of these what look to appear to be some sort of games, very shortly after Winter comes back and she says, "Hey guys, do you mind if I just spend some time with my aunt and uncle? You know, if we're gonna go do this dangerous thing, I don't know, I feel like maybe I should be with my family for a little bit. Is that all right?"
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great, thanks. But don't go on any hunts or adventures without me. I still want to do stuff with you guys. I will, thanks. Bring me back something cool from the festival. She smiles and in true winter fashion quickly runs back over to her family. You guys continue moving forward, and as you pass by, you're getting a very different crowd than is moving through the marketplace. You've seen some of these individuals moving through markets getting essentials, but now you're seeing a much more diverse crowd. And curiously, you find you guys are not really odd ones out anymore. There are more and more individuals that are heavily armored, carrying large weapons, staves. Some appear to be mages of some kind as they walk by in brightly colored robes, and some of them have very ornate jewelry, which, curiosity, you imagine could be magical items of some kind, one in adventures you have read about. But you see, I mean, it's not just Azamars or human. You see Aarakcra, and you see a couple Dragonborn, actually, as well as catfolk and lizard folk. I mean, just a large grouping of what look to be probably adventurers, hunters, just moving through the streets, talking to people and their wares, and moving down towards where the game section are. And as you move closer and closer to this section of the festival, you do see a golden banner with white lettering on the top of it, and it is over the front of a large golden tent, the biggest tent of the whole festival. And right directly behind this tent is a large tower that reaches far beyond any of the buildings in Zagahta. And you see in the lettering, this tent is labeled the Golden Reliant.
So, what are some of the games going on around?
Is everyone really this excited to eat some scorpion soup? Well, it certainly seems like everyone is very excited.
So, Vinda, as you kind of move on towards the games to try and get a look-see of what's going on. You see a couple different games. You see one that is labeled Lemon Tossing. You see some individuals lined up in front of boards that have like a large target circle on them, but then sticking in the out of the back of the boards and towards the front look to be like arrowheads. And you see people are trying to throw, or it looks like they're trying to throw their lemons to spear those arrowheads. You see a couple people, most people are missing, but a few people are managing to make some headway, and you hear cheers as they do. You see, as I mentioned, you see a stage, and now the individual that had been speaking from Squirrel steps down, and you see a newcomer, a small halfling individual, and he's carrying some kind of loot, and he steps up on the stage, and you see him kind of stomp his feet 3 times, and then he begins playing his lute, and he seems to sort of be he's singing a song, but it's more like a song that has a story behind it. And you see as he's telling this tale, a couple people are getting into it. A couple people, the crowd is a little bit more entertained by this. You also see again the line of tables with people eating something with their hands behind their backs. Their faces, you see a couple people as they lift up, their faces are covered in something yellow and white. But they take a breath and then they go back to eating whatever it is. You notice towards the back there's a small but rather lively group crowded around some kind of smallish area. But it's so crowded you can't really see what's going on. But you hear shouts of "Come on, come on, come on! Ah! No!" And Green wins again. And then sort of towards the front and closer to where you are, you see what looks to be a small stone pool. Maybe 15 feet wide by more like 20 feet in diameter. It's just a circle pool, and it appears to have what look to be ducks, not real ducks, but kind of like toy rubber duckies almost, just floating in this pool. And you see people grabbing at them and trying to catch them. And then you see at the very back, you see a group of what look to be camels tied up and behind a rope. And you see a sign in front that says tied up for camel racing on Lights Day.
Vinda's kind of looking at everything and kind of making aborted rushes towards this, and then switching direction, and doesn't know what to go to first.
Winter's related to the caravan leaders?
Winter? Yes. The Netherim caravan leaders are Winter's aunt and uncle.
I missed that detail.
Yep, that's just something you would have known.
I'm gonna go look for meat on a stick.
Alright, alright. What is everyone else doing?
Yeah, I wanted to go listen to what everyone was interested in as well, if that was to play.
I think eventually Vinda manages to gravitate towards the people eating because food.
Okay. So Vinda and Olaf, you're looking for food? Or no, Vinda's going. You're going to the food eating contest. Okay. Gorm, what are you doing?
I was muted this whole time. Anyways, so Gorm is gonna go and try and glean some information from other hunters about hunting in the deserts of Vacanis in general. Learn more about plying his trade in this environment. You heard me that time, right?
Yes, but could you just say it again?
So Gorm is gonna try and glean information from other hunters about how to ply his trade in this environment, i.e. the desert of Vacanis, rather than the forests.
Okay, and who did you want to go? Oh, you're going to the Golden Reliant tent to do that?
Just anywhere I would think I could, chat up some hunters.
Chat
Okay.
up. Gorm, chat.
Listen, hunters chat. Hunters don't tend to be around people very much. They spend many days out hunting, and then come back and sell stuff, and then go back out hunting for weeks on end.
Okay, and I'll say that Harmony follows curiosity because that's usually what he does. So let's start with Olaf. Roll me. Just give me a perception check. Uh-oh. Hold on, let me fix that. Okay, you got a 11. So yeah, pretty easy to do. You look around, kind of looking at the food vendors that are. Some are kind of clustered up in the same sort of middle area, but a few have moved off, and you do see one owned by, or at least manned by, what look to be you've seen an Aarakcra, so yeah. You see a birdman similar to the shopkeep from the used clothing store, and you approach. You approach as he shouts out, "Come, Mongo's Mangy Meats! Got all the meats you could ever want! All sticks, steaks, plates, forks, all of it here!"
Okay, so I guess I get in the line.
Yep, so you jump in the line. It's not a very long line. You've got maybe 2 or 3 people in front of you.
That's a bad sign. I want to find a longer line.
Okay,
He's not wrong.
give me another perception check. Okay. Looking at the rather short line to Mongrel's Mangy Meats, you get a bit nervous and look over, and you see, not too far away from him, you see a brightly colored sign with like pink cogwheels on it, and what looks to be some sort of very fancy bird. And you see Haley's Glorious Foods, or Glorious Mouthfuls, and you see a very long line, kind of stretching back and going into the crystal vendors, a booth or booth area, where you can see he's clearly trying to hawk some of his crystals to those waiting on line for food.
Can I see what kind of foods they're selling? Is there like a menu with prices and pictures of food and stuff?
You see what looks like a menu next to the sign. You'd have to get a little closer to see it.
Okay, I want to do that.
Okay. You get up and you see a very a nice looking sign with some pictures. Some of them have pictures, some of them don't. But you see a list. Some of the foods listed there include roasted onions and tomato boar, tenderized red wine pork, and cured black pepper tuna, and cooked fennel and orange nut mix. And you see over where some of the desserts are, you see cranberry snacks and raspberry ice lollies.
Are the prices listed?
Yes, sorry. The prices are listed, and
How much is the beef selection?
it looks like the most expensive beef dish is about 5 silver, and it becomes less and less after that.
And what about a lemonade? A big old jug of lemonade.
That will run you 20 copper.
Okay, then I'll go get back in line.
To which line?
The line that goes to whatever this place is selling the food.
Alright. So you're gonna have to wait there for a little while, as the line is pretty long.
Okay.
But you do. And, true to form, the catfolk next to you tries, and you can choose whether he succeeds or not, but tries to attempt to sell you his good luck and well-fortunate crystals of various kinds and shapes and colors.
He most definitely does not succeed.
And if he does not, then he persists for a while, but about the time you kind of get past his booth, he moves on to the next victims behind you. Okay, so moving on to Vinda. You get up kind of closer to see what's going on. Just as the time, it appears time is over, and you hear an Azamar man dressed in very fine clothes, with several ornate rings on his hand, his hair pulled into a half pony, and with the rest of his golden locks just kind of resting on his shoulders. Yeah, and time! Lift your faces out of the pies! You see several individuals, all of different races, put their faces up. Some of them can't hardly see anymore. Others are licking things off their lips. Some people you see are pale and breathing hard. As this golden man walks up and down each of the tables. And then he comes up to a small dwarven man with a thick beard that's now just caked in this yellow, white, whatever it is that they're eating. And he lifts up his arm and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner for the lemon meringue pie contest." And several people who were sitting in upper decker sort of pews or start cheering, especially a couple dwarves in the corner of that. They start yelling and cheering. And you hear the golden man, "Right this way, winner, for your prize! Right this way! Alright, everyone, if there's anyone else who thinks they can take on the pie eating challenge, we reset in 5 minutes."
So, Zagahta, the feasibility of this?
I don't know. Those pies, and you can see that the pies aren't adjusted for race. They seem pretty big. How much pie can you eat on your own?
Yeah, that's... We never exactly figured out how that the eating thing works with the fairies.
No time like the present.
Until you try. You can't win unless you try.
Yeah, I remember. I remember right at the beginning we were talking about her having to eat little but very often, but we haven't really been following through with that. We've kind of just been having her have meals with everyone. So I want to try this.
Okay. Okay, this will be interesting.
So yeah, Vinda looks to figure out how to sign up and do so.
Okay, yeah. So, you look to see where you sign up, and you kind of very quickly scope out, and you find the Golden Gentleman once again. And he, as you approach, he kind of gives you a wry look and says, well, we don't see many fairies around here, especially not in pie eating contests. But if you think you can stand with the best of them, I see no reason why you can't join in. Keep in mind, though, you get a percentage of any bets that are placed on you if you win, and I'm not so certain a lot of people are going to place bets on a fairy.
I shrug.
Right, well, if that doesn't mean anything to you, then why not sign up? Go ahead and speak to Janice, and she'll make sure you get a place on the table.
Thank you. And I will go to whoever this Janice is.
Yeah, and you're pointed out to what looks to be a human woman with her hair pulled up into a ponytail, and she's assigning people. There's a little bit of a line as she signs people and gives them a table number, and eventually you make your way to her and begin to sign up. It takes about probably this whole exchange is probably taking you like 2 minutes. You got about 3 minutes before the actual thing starts, but you're assigned a place on the table, and there's no exceptions. You're given a pie, just about as big as the cherry pie you shared with your party earlier, right in front of you. Although being small, you don't actually utilize the chair that is in your place. You just kind of sit on the table.
On the pie.
On the pie, like, lid. So while that's going on, we'll switch to the 4 of you, or 3 of you. Okay, as you approach, you reach the end of the halfling's little sonnet, and come in time for what appears to be a nervous human shaking with a little piece of paper as he steps up on the stage, and you see the people kind of readjust their place and look around. And you come up upon him right in time to hear him begin sort of reciting what is on his little paper as he says, "Changes in spring, self-respect in the royal palace, weapon test in a lake, fighting crime in an asylum, gang of a coral reef, embarrassment in the local university, misfits in a coral reef, peace of mind in a power plant, childhood in a broken bridge, identical you in an uninhabited island." And after he's finished this, there's a long pause as the crowd sort of looks between each other. And a few moments later, boo! What the heck was that? That didn't make any sense whatsoever! Boo! That's awful! And a couple people start throwing things at him, and you see him. He uses his paper to kind of dodge and deflect, but is quickly run off the stage as people just start thumbing him down. But as you approach this site, you are greeted by a woman in regal, brightly green, almost like lime green dress with like a golden flower that sort of embroiders the her V-neck of her dress. She has a little piece of paper and that like a scroll with a quill, and she's writing on it. And she looks up as you approach. Ah, hello. Are you a contestant or an audience member? All right, well, take a seat. The rules are, you can, if you like something, you can go ahead and leave a gold token, and she hands each of you a golden token, but you only get one. The person at the end of the night with the most golden tokens wins the hidden prize at the end.
What's the hidden prize?
She winks at you. It's hidden, dear.
I see. Why don't you enter, Ari?
Ah, great. I'm just going to need your name, and what you're going to be performing, the name of it, and we'll make sure you get put in line. All right, just let me write that down. All right, Aerithai Spell. Go ahead and take a seat behind the staging area. And as she points, you see a row of individuals just kind of, like, remember, I don't know if you've ever seen American Idol, but that backstage area where everyone just sits and waits to go on performance the first time that they meet the judges. It's kind of like that, but outside in the desert. And you just see people kind of like bored and twiddling their thumbs or reciting their pages or doing whatever they need to prep. And you being experienced with this, you get the feeling that a lot of the people here probably see this as their big breaks in the stardom or some form thereof. And, some of these people are going to take this pretty seriously. Others are just here for a chance at the prize. Alright, so moving on from that, as you all get into your positions, we go back to Vinda. As 5 minutes have passed and the contest begins once again, and you hear the Golden Man once again stands, and he says, "Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another fine pie-eating contest. We have another row of victims, contestants, ready to take on this lemon meringue pie challenge. Now, remember the rules. You can't touch the pie at all with your hands. Always hands tied behind your back. If I catch even one of you, and I will catch you, I am very perceptive. If I catch even one of you touching it with your fingertips, you'll be disqualified and ejected out. The winner gets one of our glorious prizes and also a percentage of the bets that are placed upon them, if any. Now, are we ready? Do we understand the rules?" See a couple people, nod and bob their heads. A couple of the people in the crowd like, "Yeah, woo!"
Yep.
All right, on your mark, get set, eat. All right, so mechanically, this is how this is gonna work. I have a cool special 25-sided die that I'm super excited to use. So you're gonna make 5 checks. The goal is to get over the difficulty of each of these checks. And it's going to become increasingly more and more difficult. Once you're done with that, I'm going to roll my 25-sided die. And if I roll lower than your final check that you're able to achieve, you win. If I roll higher, you lose, eating as many as you've been able to. Sound simple?
Well, what was that again? I'm confused.
So, you're going to make 5 checks, and they're going to be constitution checks. And the goal is just to get over the difficulty each time, and it's going to get a little more difficult each round. And each round you complete is considered a pie eaten. So the first round you'll roll, and if you succeed the difficulty score, you'll have eaten a pie. And the next one, you succeed the difficulty score, all the way up to a score of 25. If you fail any of the checks at any point, that's when it will end. I will roll my 25-sided die, and if I roll lower than your final check that you're able to achieve, you win the pie eating contest. If I roll higher, someone else in the crowd has eaten more than you. Okay, so let's make your first roll. It's Constitution Stamina, so if you're trained in Stamina, you can add that. There will be Constitution Stamina, and you're looking to beat a 5. Yeah, well done. You gobble up that pie. You have stun points too if you want to add anything.
I have to figure out what.
I imagine the role-playing chart is where you would go for the stunt points for this.
Yes.
Role playing. Let's see.
Is there a stunt called Second Stomach?
If only.
Yeah, I think that one might be the one.
Yep.
Stun the crowd sounds good.
Yeah, stun silence, I think.
Alright, yes. So, in an amazing spectacle, the smallest, tiniest of individuals lined up on this table. Vinda, this is lunch for you. I mean, you eat this stuff like this is a snack, really. You're just getting started. You were still hungry about the pie earlier, but you wanted to be polite and make sure everyone else had it. But here, no holding back. With a quick sort of spinning around, making sure to keep your hands behind your back, you just sort of fly around the pie and quickly whittle away in a circle, going all the way to the center of the pie. And in less than 30 seconds, you have devoured the entire thing. You sit back down and look up for someone to replace your pie, and as you see a very stunned waiter switching the pies out, and that gives you enough time to look up at the crowd, and you hear just, oh, and jaws just dropping, and what looks like a couple people getting up to go talk to the Golden Man. Not quite certain what that is, but it seems like your flurry of eating has gotten attention. Go ahead and make your second roll. This time you are aiming to beat a 10. And about this point, Olav, you have managed to get your meat, whatever it is or whatever food it is you desire. What is it you wanted to grab?
A meat on a stick and a lemonade.
All right, easily done. You get charged 1 silver and 20 copper for that. And as you're eating it, you find yourself moving towards it, and you see a little bit of a dinner show as you see your companion Vinda eating pies with a bunch of other people, and it seems like you watch as you get there just in time to see as the waiter is replacing her pie.
Okay, I was a bit distracted by some chaos going on in real life. Rolling again now?
Yep, and you're looking to beat a 10.
Oh, come on.
You do have stunts.
I don't know. Is there anything I can... Huh?
I mean, the only thing you've got going is witty remark. Not really sure how that could help you, but as part of the stunt, you can ask people in your party. I don't know, maybe someone else has a better idea. Alright, well, we'll say what happens is that as you're getting ready to delve into the second pie, all of a sudden, eating that too quickly, you kind of get a little dizzy as the sugar rush kind of hits you immediately, and your stomach kind of wiggles a bit, and you just find yourself pushing it away, not able to even eat another bite.
I'm just kind of vibrating from the sugar.
Olaf, you watch as Vinda kind of sits back and her wings kind of droop as she stares at this enormous pie that's bigger than her. And about 3 or 2 minutes later, you hear, "And time!" And the same golden man goes up and down the tables, and this time he picks up the arm of a large, giant human. Or not human, sorry. Well, looks to be human, but much bigger than a human, female, and lifts her arm up and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner!" And he gives his same speech about, and you'll get a prize and a percentage of the winnings. Remember, folks, if you failed here again, you can always try in the round after next. But go ahead and give your stomach a break. Anyone else ready or interested in joining in, come sign up with Janice. We'll restart in 5 minutes.
So yeah, I'm thinking Vinda goes wishing off to spiral around in the air, just burn off some energy.
Okay, you're getting up now. You see Olaf, who's just kind of been watching you this whole time, eating what appears to be meat on a stick and drinking something liquidous in a cup.
So can I actually try again, or is that just too much?
I'm allowing a second try. You can try for a second time, but then after that, I'm going to say that like that's probably more than enough for any of you. But we will move on to Airy and Curiosity and Harmony. So, Curiosity, it's been a couple of minutes now, and you've just finished hearing a long rendition about a djinn female who went out searching for love and adventure, but instead fell victim to a horrible ancient terror, an ancient dragon. And it tells a tale of a woman who was so promising and so kind and all of these things, but in the end, in the final moment, in order to save her friends, she gave herself up she sacrificed herself in order to save the others about her, and to ensure that the terror would never come across the deserts of Quittis ever again. And it's fairly well told, but and most of the audience seems to enjoy it, but it was rather long, and about the 5th verse you were kind of starting to not pay attention as much. And you see he gets a couple coins, but really not so many as he probably thought he was going to get for his audacious but very monotone reading of this piece. But finally, you do hear, "Ladies and gentlemen, we now have our next contestant, Airy Dayspell."